Her name is synonymous with power, beauty, and tragedy. She was the last great queen of Egypt, a goddess on earth who challenged the might of Rome. We know how she lived, and we know how she died, by her own hand in 30 BC, alongside her beloved Mark Antony. But after 2,000 years, one question still baffles historians, and fuels a desperate search. Where in the world is Cleopatra's tomb? Welcome to Your Channel Name, and today we dive into one of history's most elusive treasures. The final resting place of Cleopatra and Antony is an empty spot on the map that could rewrite history, if we can ever find it. For this quest, we have to start with the historical records. Ancient writers like Plutarch and Cassius Dio confirmed two crucial things. Cleopatra built her own mausoleum, a surpassingly lofty and beautiful structure near the Temple of Isis, filled with royal treasures. Octavian the victorious Roman permitted their burial together. They were laid to rest, side by side, a final act of respect for a formidable foe. But here is where the trail runs cold. They were buried in the heart of Alexandria's royal quarter, a magnificent district of palaces and temples. The problem? Nature had other plans. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and rising sea levels over the centuries swallowed much of the ancient city. Cleopatra's royal quarter, and everything in it, sank beneath the Mediterranean waves. This cataclysm leads us to our first major theory, championed by underwater archaeologists like Frank Gaudio. The Alexandria theory argues the tomb is exactly where the ancient texts place it, submerged under the modern harbor. Gaudio's decades of work have already uncovered astounding finds. The royal palaces, temples, and even the island of Antirodos, all now 16 to 20 feet under the sea. The mausoleum, according to Plutarch, was a tower-like structure near the Temple of Isis. Gaudio has located that very Temple of Isis. The tomb could be just steps away from the palace ruins, protected by layers of mud and sediment at the bottom of the sea. It's an incredibly challenging search, limited by visibility and the sheer scale of the ruins. Finding a single mausoleum in a submerged metropolis is like finding a needle in an oceanic haystack. But one archaeologist, a Dominican lawyer turned Egyptologist named Kathleen Martinez, has dedicated 2 decades of her life to a radical, but increasingly compelling alternative. She believes Cleopatra's final wish was not to be buried in the Roman-influenced capital, but in a symbolic location, safe from Octavian's desecration. Her target, Taposiris Magna, a temple complex 30 miles west of Alexandria. Taposiris Magna means the Great Tomb of Osiris. For a queen who identified as the goddess Isis, and for Antony, whom she associated with Osiris, the god of the afterlife, this was a profound symbolic choice. Martinez's evidence is mounting. Hundreds of coins bearing Cleopatra's face have been unearthed at the site. Elite burials of high-ranking nobles, including gilded mummies, have been found nearby, confirming the site's status during Cleopatra's time. The tunnel discovery. In 2022, Martinez's team made a major breakthrough, discovering a massive 4,300-foot-long tunnel carved into the bedrock beneath the temple. It's a remarkable engineering feat, possibly an ancient aqueduct, but Martinez believes it could have been the secret passage used to transport the bodies of the royal couple. The sunken port. Just recently, her team, with the help of legendary deep-sea explorer Bob Ballard, uncovered the remains of a vast sunken port off the coast of Taposiris Magna. This proves the temple was a major maritime hub, directly linking the tunnel and the sea, a perfect path for a secret royal funeral procession. The Taposiris Magna theory is powerful because it suggests Cleopatra engineered her own vanishing act. She made sure her tomb was not just hidden, but imbued with a religious significance that a Roman would never dare violate. Yet many scholars remain skeptical, arguing that Egyptian pharaohs were not typically buried inside temples. Why is this search still so vital? Because a discovery would be more than just finding two sets of remains. It confirms the narrative of her death. The tomb's contents could resolve the mystery of whether she was killed by an asp, a poison pin, or even murdered by Octavian's men. It reveals unprecedented treasure. Historical accounts suggest the tomb was filled with gold, silver, pearls, and royal artifacts, a treasure trove of unimaginable wealth and historical data. It gives us Cleopatra. For a figure whose story has been largely told through the eyes of her Roman conquerors, the contents of her tomb would finally speak to her legacy, her rituals, and her final masterful plans. Cleopatra's tomb has eluded us for 2,000 years. She successfully managed to cheat history, but the archaeologists of today are closing in, digging in the sand, and diving in the deep. Whether it lies beneath the bustling streets of modern Alexandria, or within the symbolic embrace of Taposiris Magna, the answer is out there. Do you think Kathleen Martinez is right, or is the Queen forever sleeping beneath the waves? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to keep following the world's greatest historical quests, hit that like button, subscribe to your channel name, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next discovery.